I think you got to credit Eastern Illinois. They came in and they played hard and played tough, and we didn't do that. Was disappointed with our rebounding. Proud of the fact that we kept fighting there, and we needed a good defensive possession to transfer over to a good offensive possession, and we never could get that in the second half.
You talked about the rebounding. It seemed like you did a better job of that kind of the middle portion of the game.
Yeah.
Let you down. Where does the inconsistency come from? Is it just purely an effort thing?
Well, I think a couple of things. I think you got to give a lot of credit to Erica Brown. She played 9 minutes in the first half and had 7 rebounds. She got in foul trouble, and I think one of the reasons why we were able to rebound better the second quarter is because she wasn't on the floor. And then when she came back on the floor, she continued to create havoc in offensive rebounding, which we knew going into the game she would do. I don't think that our sense of urgency is where it needs to be every possession. I think they want to. I know they want to. But when you're playing in this game, and it's not just about want to, it's about the will to do. How about that? You got to have it.
How do you try to instill that in the girls? Obviously, it's tough during a game to probably flip that switch, maybe. But what do you try to do as a coach to just continue to harp on the urgency of every possession?
Well, as a coach, you try to find different ways to motivate your players and to get the best out of them. And I told the girls this earlier in the season, and it's happened before. Our team works better when there is a consequence to it. So for this team, it may have to be, I have to look at it and say, okay, what's realistic with what we have on the floor as far as rebounding goes? Like, I understand that, you know, without Olivia and Deja, we're different, okay? So how many offensive rebounds should we give up a game? And I think maybe 12 is an okay number. Okay, so anything over 12 and there has to be a consequence to it. That's just how this team works. Consequence whether it's running, consequence whether it's a certain drill that I know they hate, right? That's how it's going to work. So I think we're going to make an adjustment going forward about rebounding. And I think that might get their attention.
What drills do they hate?
Well, they hate anything that's running. And it's funny because, you know, we walk back past the track team as they work out, and they're running for fun. And my players hate to run. But, oh, there's like a tip drill. There is a like war drill where it's very physical, and if you ain't tough, then it's going to be hard for you. But I think, you know, throughout the season, we're going to be faced with challenges. And in life, you're going to be faced with challenges. And how do you respond to those challenges? And so that's sort of kind of where it is right now. We're challenged with what we have offensively and what we have on the floor. But like I told them in the locker room, we have everything we need. We may not have the offensive firepower that we have with Olivia, okay? We may not have the rebounding numbers that Olivia and Deja both provide for us, but we have everything we need. But everybody has to be playing at their best every single possession. And so we'll work to get better at it.
You know, you talk about that. Obviously, as a coach, you want to work with what you have, but it's also undeniable when you look up in an 8-point game and you think about the 2 girls and what they bring to the table. How do you have to adjust without them right now? Is there something different, or is it just about everybody upping their level individually?
Well, there is no doubt that we miss Olivia Hatton. I mean, we could just throw it at her and she could just go make plays, and it would be, oh wow, like she makes me look like a really good coach. I'm still the coach I was the other day with Olivia, without Olivia, but she just, there was a confidence, there was a hunger, there was a skill and a talent that she brought to the table that no one person is going to, you know, make up for. So we have to make it grimy, and it's got to be ugly, and it's got to be, to some degree, a fight, right? That's what it has to be. That's how we have to play. When teams leave this floor, they've got to be like, dang, I'm sore. Dang, that was hard, right? And we didn't do that tonight. And if we do that, I will be so proud of how hard they fight. So proud of how hard that they work. And, you know, as I tell them always, in life, you're going to have to fight this hard. Like, it's not always going to come easy. And when it does, who are you going to become? So we're working to become the best version of ourselves.
Lincoln, another solid game from her, just providing a spark for you guys. How have you seen her kind of flourish this week and maybe in a little bit bigger role than she had?
Well, she has definitely provided some scoring for us that we definitely need. And I tell her, and I've told her, and I've shown her on some film there, like, if you give me 16, you can't give up 15, right? And I know we're lacking scoring, but if I have to lose something, then I want to make sure that you don't give up 15. Because if we make this a low-scoring game and we're at home, we can win that. But we can't just, give up a 3-4-3. Like, that's not how it works. But I am happy that she has been able to score for us, and I felt like she could shoot the ball and help us that way.
It did seem like every time you guys hit a three, they came down and hit another one. The Tellez girl had a big night. I guess why, it seemed like she had a few wide open threes. Why do you feel like she was getting so open today?
Well, I thought as the shot clock would wind, I thought we had a poor sense of urgency to get out on her. That's the first thing. And for the record, she was on the scouting report as a shooter. Shooter, runner off. The key was to run her off the three-point line. Clearly, we didn't follow the scouting report. But then as the game wore on, and like you said, we'd hit a three. And then we'd come down, and they'd work the shot clock, right? And then all of a sudden, in our 2-3 zone, we stopped playing together and started focusing on just the ball or the person closest to me. Well, versus a zone, if everybody's on one side of the floor and she's on the opposite side, and the defense is sucked in just looking at the ball, she's going to get a wide open shot because their point guard is really good. And that's sort of kind of what happened. Shot clock would wind down, they drive, you'd have two taking it, and then now it's a scramble, and then she hits a big three.
You mentioned her point guard. She was kind of limited that first half, but then that third quarter, she really started finding that mid-range jumper. Where were you kind of losing her in that third quarter, do you feel like?
It's funny you say that because we know that she really likes that elbow shot. Showed it on film, showed it to the team on film, saw it on film. She's really good at that, and that's where her game has evolved a lot since last year, so a lot of credit to her. We talked about at halftime they were running that ball screen action, and we needed to get under the ball screen because she's not necessarily a threat to shoot the three, but she's a really good threat at getting to that elbow, so get underneath the ball screen. Well, what do? We come out and run right to the screen, or try to go over the screen, and what does she do? Pull up. And again, a poor job of executing an adjustment that we made during halftime, but she did what she needed to do, and we did not do what we needed to do defensively.
When you look at things offensively, it seems like you can just really, with Olivia out, use kind of that third option that you had before that you don't right now. Not to pick on them, but Ashton and Hannah combined for 6 total points. How hard is it without having kind of that third option to go to beyond Bree, and I guess with Lincoln, what she's done the last couple of years?
Yeah, you need to have a third scorer, and whether it is one person who steps up each game, whether it is a combination of 2 or 3 people who come in and provide some scoring for you, that would be really good. And I know that Hannah and Ashton are going to knock down shots. I believe it because I see them doing it in practice. I see them getting the gym on their own and put in the work. So I do believe that's going to happen. But if that's not happening, what else can you bring to the team? I thought Hannah did a really good job defensively of talking, and when she does that, I challenged him a little bit at halftime, and I talked about rebounding. Very first possession, she comes out, has a great block out, and has a great rebound, right? So that's it. And when she can't score, or when she's having a difficult time shooting the ball, she can do that. And then she's got to let those shots go and know that every day we do 2-line layups, and she has to make them in a row before, everybody has to make them in a row before we go on to the next drill. But when we have transition layups, knock that layup down, right? That's how you get yourself going. I believe she'll work her way out of this because I've seen her do it before.
And then the beginning of that fourth quarter, it seemed like when they really kind of pulled away, what was going wrong during that stretch of the game for you guys?
Well, I'll take some blame for that because I should have called a timeout when it started to. I think I should have called a timeout a little bit earlier than what I did. But they were in a flow. They were in a rhythm offensively, right? And they had an extra bounce in their step, and we didn't. And that can't be the case because we worked hard at the end of the second quarter to sort of make it back a game because they could have ran away with it a little bit. And even in the third quarter, it wasn't a great quarter, but it wasn't too bad. But then the fourth quarter, they just came out and wanted it a little bit more than us, and that part is disappointing.
And then Bree getting her 1,000th point, honor Olivia at the beginning, and then Bree goes out and joins her. A few words about her and what she means to this team that honor of reaching that milestone?
Well, scoring at this level is really hard to do. I think Bree has evolved and developed as a basketball player and as a young lady during her 4 years here, and I'm really proud of that. You know, I'm sure when I first got here, she was just a driver. That's all she wanted to do was just get to the paint. And for her to be able to score 1,000 points as a driver means that, you know, she's worked really, really hard on her game. She's had some good teammates around her who've helped her in this process, and I'm really proud that she was able to do that because that's not an easy thing to do.